Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, July the 26th, 2023. Wednesday, July 26th. Not a whole lot happened today. Back and forth to boring conversations, but let me tell you about it, everybody. Okay, first we have Jocelyn shows up at Dex's house and he's shirtless, of course, got all kinds of candles all over the place. And she's like, now, wait a minute. You didn't even know I was coming. So what's going on? And he lets her know, bottom line, the power is out in the building. And so those candles are so he could have light, right? He goes, everybody in the heat overloaded the building's AC. So she goes, I saw lights in the hallway. He said, that's the generator. So, of course, they talk. She's like, I haven't seen you in 36 hours. Look, 36 hours, 4 minutes, and 28 seconds. She didn't go through all that, but pretty much she could have. And he goes, wow, you kept track. And she goes, Dex, you left me at the pool at the Metro Court, and I haven't seen or heard from you yet. So he told her what happened. He found a dead body, yada, yada, yada. That he and Sonny weren't involved in it. You know, he didn't even know the guy, but he had to call the police. He goes, and I know you want to know, did I kill him? She said, no. He said, no, I did not. And she said, I know you didn't kill him, because if you would have killed him, you wouldn't have even told me about it, because you wouldn't have wanted to have to lie to me. So she knew him that well. And, so, their conversation got mushy kissy. And now finally Dex is continually taking her to his bed versus the couch. Okay. So that's those two. Then we had, oh my goodness, back and forth from Portia and Curtis, a good 5 scenes. I think that's how they're dragging a lot of things out. Oh, Curtis, no, I'm no good to anybody. Let me go. We didn't consummate our marriage, so we could get an annulment. And so she's like, I'm not about to give you an annulment. And he goes, well, no, look. And then he did the hurt thing, talking about, you kept years from my daughter's life from me and blah, blah, blah. And, now, I could have at least had those years and had a relationship with her, even if I was in a wheelchair now, I would have had years of whatever, Curtis, right? So then he says, he doesn't want the Savoy. He doesn't want anything now that he can't walk, because guess what? I guess his whole identity, everything who Curtis was his legs. I guess everything he was has to do with his legs, right? His legs are his moral compass. So anyway, she's, arguing, Curtis, you have a family that loves her. Are you trying to say, you say you want to know your daughter? Well, you could still be a father to her. Not in this condition. Oh, shut up, Curtis. So finally, look, back every time they went to them, I fast forwarded, because I don't want to hear it. That's just him talking, right? So then we have Dante and Sam. Dante gets home. Sam is up trying to pour over what's the connection with Selena, Cody, and Gladys, right? Mainly Selena and Gladys. She wants to find what's the connection between Selena and Gladys. Hello? Card game, but I guess she doesn't know Gladys is in the, see, Cody could have tipped so much more. Really, he could have let leaked so much more. But Sam could be at the Savoy and see Gladys going into the back room with the illegal car. Sam is getting hot on the trail, right? So her and Dante talk, and they're getting ready to make out on the couch. Kids are asleep, and they're having a good conversation. I actually like Sam and Dante as a couple. I really like them. They talk things out. They, their little family is working, the whole thing. They're cool people to be. So they're making out, and all of a sudden the doors bang, bang, bang on the door, bang, bang, bang. She goes, go away, bang, bang, bang. So Dante gets up and opens the door, and guess who it is? Cody. Now just got stabbed, popping his stitches, getting over there. Dante opens the door. Cody pretty much passes out in Dante's arms. Dante has to help him to the couch and says, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" He goes, "I checked myself out of the hospital." Sam is like, "Well, we can recheck you right back in." He was like, "No, no, no. If I go back, that'll be worse on Sasha. You know, I left because I don't want them to think that she really hurt me." I mean, he has her best interest at heart, but he's like, something is not right. And so they actually rebandage him up, you know, and he goes, "Something's not right." He goes, "Something's not adding up." This is Cody. He says, "Sasha was fine. I talked to Sasha a couple weeks ago. Fine. She wanted her guardianship back. And now, what, 2 weeks later, now she's just did a complete 180." So Cody is kind of getting to be out of it. And he says, "Gladys has something to do with this. I know it. I know it in my heart. It is Gladys," right? So Sam is looking at him because she had just told Dante she does not trust Gladys. She feels Gladys has something is up with Gladys. And Sam is like, "I don't like her. I'm going to find out what." So Sam is still going to be on the case. But like I said, Cody could have stopped all of this. He really could have, just by just saying things that won't get back to Selena to jeopardize her operation. Because let's be real. It being leaked to check Sasha's bank accounts theoretically has nothing to do with Selena Wu, right? And it's in checking Sasha's bank account, they're going to see it's the executor over the money. What's she doing with all that money? Where's it going? See, that's how Gladys's part will come to play. And ultimately it leads back to Selena Wu, but oh well, right? Oh well, so that's what happens. But it doesn't ever have to come up that Cody was the one that did that tip. So anyway, Cody, he just leans back. He goes, "I'm going to call a car to take me back to the Q stable house." And he's a little bit delirious. And Dante looks at Sam and she's like, you know, so she goes and gets a blanket and they let him crash on their couch, you know. So they go to the little patio area looking out the doors with their beers, and then they start making out again. And they're like, "Well, hey, look, he's sleeping. He's going to sleep all night. We could take up where we left off." So Dante picks up Sam and carries her up the stairs, and Cody's knocked out on the couch. So then the rest of the back and forth, probably 5-6 scenes, was Sonny and Ava. Ava really went into detail as to why she killed Nicholas. And Sonny was like, pretty much, Sonny was smiling. "You killed Nicholas?" Sonny's, and so she said, "Because he threatened Avery. He threatened to take our daughter, and he's a Cassadine. And he said, I would never see her again. And then as he was leaving, he said, I'm going to tell Avery you said goodbye." She said, "And Sonny, I lost it." And she told him how she picked up the little metal bookend, iron bookend, and hit him on the back of the head, and she thought he was dead, or pretty much he was dead. And then he says, "How did Austin come into play?" "Well, he was just knocking on my door. See, now really we got to think about, why was Austin knocking on the door? Austin saw Mason at Kelly's following Ava. It wasn't the other way around. It's like Ava said, Mason followed Austin here. No, Mason didn't. Mason followed her to Windermere. Austin came after. Or you know what? Those two are in such cahoots with each other. They could have rode the launch over together, right? We don't know. So then he said, Austin he helped her. He initially kept saying, call the police. And I convinced him that the police would not believe me because everybody knew how upset I was. And I hated Nicholas for sleeping with Esme, right? And Sonny said, yep, you sure did, you know. So anyway, she said how she put Nicholas in a wheelbarrow, took him to the tack house, and once she put him in that closet, she turned around and Austin was there. And so then she was telling him, but all the different events, the various events that happened right all at that time, Curtis and Portia's wedding. She says, and I had to go to that wedding, otherwise things would look suspicious. And Nicholas, I mean, as she's talking, and then we've got Heather and Ryan and all this stuff, right? And Sonny goes, and Nicholas's body is still in the tack house in the room, locked in that room. And she goes, yep. And Sonny's thinking like, ooh, okay, that's getting to be pretty right. And so then she said that when the police started searching Spoon Island, because of the Heather and Ryan situation, that they got to the tack house and she told him she didn't have the key. And so she goes, yeah, but your son Dante, he sure knew how to open the lock. And she said, and when they did, Austin and I were shocked to find that Nicholas's body was not in there. And Sonny said, so let me guess, Mason has the body. She says, and he's been blackmailing me ever since. Now, Sonny didn't say, well, how did the door get locked again? See, I mean, Mason got in and Mason locked it back with what? He didn't have a key, but whatever. That's a little technical thing that we're not going to talk about. So then the final scene, which is this scene, Sonny hands Ava yet another martini. I mean, she's been living on martinis. That's why, look, she's losing weight because she's not eating. All we see her doing is drinking. Soon as she get up, the time she goes to bed, martinis, right? So he tells Ava, he says, look, I'm going to handle everything. I promise. But Sonny, my mother, he goes, I'm going to take care of everything. Right? Don't worry. So he leaves and Ava's looking at her martini glass and she goes, Sonny, I hope you can. Right? She's talking to herself. So Sonny's getting in his car and he's calling somebody and he goes, I need you to find me somebody dead or alive. So he's talking about Nicholas, right? So my whole thing was, wait a minute, Sonny, where's your bodyguards? Now we knew Dex was off, but where's his other bodyguards? Because Sonny was just driving himself. He was alone, obviously away from Spoon Eye. He had already taken the launch back to the GH parking lot because that car wasn't parked at Ava's place at Spoon Island. You can't take cars over to Spoon Island. And I'm like, okay, well, he had to already be off, or that's a little writing mistake. Oops. Do the new writers not know that Spoon Island is really an island? Right? Sonny's car would have been left at the docks. And Sonny shouldn't be going to the docks by himself. What is going on? So anyway, that was it today, everybody. Nothing else earth-shattering. I'm finding what they're doing is a whole lot of just the same people, like maybe 3 different people, maybe 4, but the whole episode is going back and forth. I mean, even though soaps do that all the time, but to me, really back and forth with just these tight knit, so that we're sick of hearing them talking to each other. They're dragging out the conversations between people. Portia and Curtis's conversation, we only needed 1 scene of that. We didn't need 5. We seriously didn't. Good God Almighty. So anyway, let's go to Comment Corner. Comment Corner. I should be able to breeze all through this. Juanita says, I loved it when Sonny comes to the rescue and cleans up the messes. And then Linda says, spoilers say that Gladys is out and possibly Jason is in. I hope Jason is in. DB says, LOL. Ava was so mad after that slap to her face. I was waiting for her head to completely spin around. I believe she doesn't have this weight on her shoulders. on her shoulders. She's in way over her head. And I already saw the new nanny flying over the balcony. I know. Oh, exactly. And then Lisa says, so I guess Ava will tell Sonny that Nicholas threatened Avery, which he was never going to do. The most he would have done was have her to lose custody of Avery by telling Sonny she pushed Esme over the parapet. Sandy says, we got the OG Sonny back. He needs to let Nina take care of herself so he could take care of business. Yes, I am starting to see gangster Sonny back. Thank goodness. Look, once we saw them put that dye in his hair, he's like, I'm back. I'm back. And then Deborah says, what the heck happened to Ava who killed Connie? She was a lot more aggressive. She wouldn't have let, that's my dog trying to clear up his little throat. My little Oliver, not Kara this time, y'all. She would not have let anyone boss her around. She would have kicked that nanny's behind for slapping her. Now Sonny knows Ava's secret. I wonder how he's going to handle the babysitter. Can't wait for Sonny to find out about Gladys. Sasha needs help with getting away from that doctor, and Sonny can deal with Wu. Wonder why Wu hasn't visited Curtis yet. Maybe she is the one who had the shooter on the roof. I don't know. But I do know she was really upset because remember when she was dealing with Cody for making her lose all that money, she was saying, my friend got shot. She was really upset about that. But she could have been upset because my man screwed up. But remember, that was a WSB rifle. So something else is in play as well. You know, I don't know what's happening. And then Cindy says, Chase doesn't seem to have learned his lesson. He's risking his badge yet again for Brooklyn by dipping into the Metro Court pool without a stitch on. It doesn't matter if he's off duty when he did it. He knows the Metro Court has surveillance. Yes, he does. LaShawn says Cody Bell is going to need a blood transfusion. And then LaShawn also says Michael told Nina that Amelia was asleep. Yes, she was. LaShawn says Wiley is in Camp Lila. And she also says Nicholas Cassidy had Alfred as his butler. Yeah, when little Spencer was growing up. LaShawn also says Elizabeth and Finn have no chemistry. And DB says she irks me. I'm tired of seeing him fawning all over her. Lisa says, thank you for a great recap. You're welcome, Lisa. And Lisa also says, Diane's plan for Carly is to buy Kelly's for $1. She doesn't have to sell her house. And then Lisa says, I think Cyrus is playing like he is acting like he's scared. He's playing like he's scared. Yeah, I know. To see if Drew will protect him. I think so too. Book really, let's face it, Book works under Cyrus's thumb. And then Lisa says, Ava fought tooth and nail not to tell Sonny about killing Nicholas. My goodness, she should have been the first thing that happened, or that should have been the first thing that happened. Finally, Sonny is back. Finally. He has let things get so messed up. Crazy mess to clean up. And when Lisa says, Sonny is going to play around with this nanny's game and come up with a plan to get Ava's mother to safety. Then he would take out the other players. Having to pull the information out of Ava pissed off Sonny because it took her long enough. And then DB says, I'm pissed off it took Sonny so long to Sonny, to be Sonny, right? I can't wait till Ava's hands that woman's face on a platter, or hands that woman's face, or knocks a platter on her face, right? Yandale says, I noticed no one was wearing a mask, not even Nina. They're making Willow have a remarkable recovery. And then Yandel also says, I can't believe Ava let that woman slap her like that. Ava used to be a gangster. And Elisa says, I think she was thinking about Avery and her mom. That nasty nanny will get hers from Ava when the time is right. Hopefully the cameras were rolling when they are open. I think, are you talking about the pool, the Metro Court pool? And then DB says, Ava is not the one. And Cutie would be flailing over the balcony so quick if the threat was not real. Glad she has all the help she needs now. And then Ron says, Sonny's reacted with priceless. Wait, Sonny's reaction was priceless. He knew the second he saw her, she was bad news. And Ava finally spilling the beans. Ava ever, does Ava ever eat? All she does is drink. I know. Goodness gracious. DB says, glad he finally paid attention. Glad he finally paid attention. How he has not caught on to Gladys and her terrible gambling problem. I don't know. Ava needed help with this one. And then Sandy says, it is about time, Ava told Sonny. This nanny almost slapped Ava's head off. And the Ava we know would have knocked that nanny out. I know that would have been fighting actions, right? Sabrina says, hi, Daily Recap Lady. Regarding Ava, she still needs to pay for what she did to Spencer when he used the tape. She used the tape to weaponize him against his father. And even though Nina called the SEC on Carly, it was Ava's idea. Ava gave her the idea. Ava also knew that Nicholas was not in Russia, but she let Laura, Valentine, and Kevin go anyway. When Sonny finds out what she has done, I don't think she's going to be able to take Avery anywhere. Maybe let her visit. I think he'll still let Ava have access. Because look, Nina and Ava are best friends. P. Merle said Chase won that bet. He skinny dipped to save Brooklyn's honor. Where is Griffin? Where is Andre? I'm sure they could help Curtis walk again. I'm not sure that Portia still wants to be Curtis's wife. And then Lucy says, Team Chase and Brooklyn. So that's all the comments on Comic Corner. Comic Corner, thank you all for your comments. I will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.